If you've ever sat beside your child, watching them struggle with a word they knew perfectly well yesterday, and you felt your heart sink, you know how tough that can be. As a parent of a dyslexic child, you've probably felt that tug of war, wanting desperately to help your child succeed, while also trying to stay their parent, not their teacher. Perhaps you've had the homework battles, the reading struggles, the tears, or maybe it's complete avoidance, disinterest, or total confusion. All of this takes its toll. So, what can look like laziness or resistance is often frustration and overwhelm. Over time, those feelings quietly chip away at your child's self-confidence. It's mentally exhausting for them and emotionally draining for you. It can turn your dining room table into a classroom and strain the very relationships that you're trying to protect. The truth is, you don't need to become their teacher at home to make a meaningful difference. In fact, trying to fill that role can create more stress for both of you. What your child needs most from you is something completely different, and it's far more powerful. Before we talk about support, I want to just clear something up. Dyslexia isn't about seeing letters backwards, and it's certainly not about being less intelligent. It's a specific learning difference. Dyslexia changes how the brain processes written language. Most kids and most people with dyslexia are really bright, really creative, and incredible problem solvers. Their brains just process language differently. So that's what makes decoding words, spelling words, and reading fluency much harder for them. It's a neurological thing, and it's a lifelong thing. However, with the right kind of support, kids with dyslexia can absolutely do well and actually enjoy learning again. So why is it that taking on the teaching role at home often backfires? You've probably even been there, sitting beside your child at homework time. They're frustrated, you're frustrated, you start explaining or correcting or repeating, and here's what usually happens. Emotions run high, the relationship shifts, and what started off as helping quickly feels like nagging. You're emotionally invested in a way a teacher or a professional isn't, and that changes everything. Suddenly, battles spill over into homework time. And unless you are a teacher, truthfully, you're not actually trained for this. Most often, teaching a dyslexic child to read takes specialist knowledge about how their brain learns best. The research is quite clear. Your relationship with your child is far too important to lose in the battle over homework. So, what should you be doing as a parent? Well, your role is actually more powerful than any professionals. You're the person who protects their self-esteem when the world says that they're behind. You're the advocate for them at school. You're the calm at home. You're the one who notices their strengths and the one that the strengths that tests don't measure. And you're the one modelling that resilience. Now that's not passive parenting. That there is intentional, strategic parenting. I just want to give you some practical ways to support without taking over the teaching. I want you first to make sure that reading together is for pleasure, not for practice. Take the emphasis off sounding it out. Choose books above their reading level, but with their interests. Take turns at reading if they want to, but don't correct every mistake. Talk about the pictures and the story. Perhaps you'd like to try audio books with a physical book in front of you. Keep it about the story. Make sure the story is entertaining for them, not about the decoding of the words. That's how we build comprehension, vocabulary, and a love of reading without stress. Try creating a dyslexia-friendly home. Small tweaks make a big difference. Use visual schedules with pictures and words. Perhaps you can label things around the house, colour code school gear and routines. Keep instructions short and show your child exactly what you mean. Set up a calm, clutter-free space for any homework that needs doing. And it's really important to understand what's going on in their mind. When your child looks at words and struggles, it's not because they're not trying hard enough. Something deeper is going on. They might be experiencing confusion that triggers disorientation. Letters or words can literally seem to move, blur, shift, or simply disappear. The solution isn't to push them harder. It's to help them recognise when that confusion starts and give them some tools to restore clarity. That's something I see all the time in my work as a facilitator. Once a child learns how to manage confusion and reorient their thinking, it changes everything for them. They start to recognise when that confusion begins. They use techniques to calm and refocus their brain. They learn in a way that stops that confusion from building up into something bigger and bigger. And when that happens, reading becomes less like working through a fog and more like finally seeing clearly. How can you set homework boundaries and work with teachers? Well, here's something important. You don't have to finish every homework sheet. Set realistic limits. 10 minutes of reading a day is absolutely plenty, and the total homework time, no more than 45 minutes. That's it, finito. Children need time to unwind, relax, and remember what it feels like to be a kid. They've already spent a full day learning and they've had to concentrating hard. So adding more pressure at home doesn't build success, it builds stress. Break homework into short little bursts, 10 to 15 minutes at a time with quick breaks in between. This sounds a bit strange, but it's very effective. So when that time up, that total 45 minutes is up, no more. Write a short note to the teacher explaining what was done. Focus on the effort that they gave to their learning, not the perfection of the task. And if homework's consistently overwhelming, talk to the teacher. Ask for adjustments or reduce tasks if needed. Your job is to protect your child's confidence and, most importantly, your relationship. How can you spotlight their strengths every day? Dyslexic kids spend lots of their day being reminded of what they've got wrong, feeling less than their peers, seeing others succeed. So make home the place where they get reminded what they get right. Notice the positive. You solve that in such a creative way. Give them chances to shine in sport, art, building, cooking, whatever lights them up. Share stories of dyslexic adults, entrepreneurs, designers, engineers, innovators. Oh, keep a proud moments jar. Every little win counts. So what can your child do to help themselves at school? Instead of going in and fighting their battles for them, encourage your child to talk to their teacher themselves. The teachers want to help and make learning easier for your child. Explain dyslexia in simple, age-appropriate terms so they understand that it's not their fault. Tell your kids it's absolutely okay to ask their teacher for a little bit more time, or to ask them or say, could you explain that in another way, please? If they're feeling a bit shy, perhaps you can role play those teacher conversations if they're a little bit shy about speaking up. Celebrate when they do it in real life. So speaking up is a real life skill that goes far beyond the school. How do you get the right support at school? Your child should be getting reading support that matches how their brain learns. Here in New Zealand, schools are encouraged to use structured literacy. That's explicit, step-by-step teaching of phonemic awareness, decoding, and spelling. These approaches are backed by the Dyslexia Foundation of New Zealand, the Ministry of Education, and learning specialists who focus on multi-sensory strength-based methods, like those we use at Dyslexia Unpuzzled. Spelled New Zealand also provides assessments and support, though experiences vary with this, so it's about finding what works best for your child. Talk regularly with your child's teacher. Ask them to document what they notice. They see your child for most of the day and can spot the patterns that you might miss. If needed, the SENCO, that's the Special Education Needs Coordinator, can refer your child to an RTLB. That's a Resource Teacher of Learning and Behaviour. The RTLB usually starts by observing in class, then makes recommendations. Teachers then put those recommendations in place and usually feed back to you. They keep track, or you keep track of what's working, and if progress stalls, advocate. Go back and talk to them again. If the school support isn't enough, you can explore an external education assessment to understand how your child learns best. When should you seek professional help? Sometimes the best next step is bringing in a trained specialist. Look for someone trained in dyslexia-specific methods. Someone who uses multisensory techniques and keeps you in the parent role, not the teaching role. You focus on connection and emotional support. Let the professional handle the structured learning. Let's be honest, having a child with dyslexia can stir up some really big feelings and emotions. Frustration, guilt, worry, even grief for the path that you imagined that your child would have. All of that is completely normal. Connect with other parents who understand your struggles. Get your own support if you need to, or perhaps start your own support group. Learn more through reliable sources such as the Dyslexia Foundation of New Zealand, Learning Differences Aotearoa Trust, or I'm happy to talk to you here at Dyslexia Unpuzzled. And please, you go easy on yourself. We know you're doing your best. Ask yourself this: does my child still feel loved and valued? Are they building confidence and resilience? Is our relationship strong? If so, you've got it. You're succeeding, even if homework's unfinished or reading is still tricky. Academic progress will come with the right support, but confidence grows when home feels safe. The bottom line is, when you stop trying to be the teacher and start being the parent again, everything changes. Your connection strengthens. Their confidence grows. Supporting your dyslexic child at home isn't about teaching them yourself. It's about being their soft landing after a hard day. Remember, they've had to concentrate 2 or 3 times as hard as their peers. So it's about protecting their spirit while the professionals teach the skills. It's about showing them that they are so much more than their struggles with reading or writing. You're not giving up by stepping back. You're being smart. You're focusing on what only you can give them: love, belief, and a safe space in a world that often feels built for everyone else. That's not just enough, that's everything. Because dyslexia isn't a deficit, it's a difference. And with the right understanding and support, your child can grow in confidence and find their own way to succeed. If you'd like to talk through what's happening with your child and explore the next steps, I offer a free in-person initial meeting here in Hawke's Bay. You can find all the details at dyslexiaunpuzzled.co.nz. Let's unpuzzle the dyslexia together. Let's unpuzzle what's holding your child back and what challenges they're having. And if this video has been helpful, please like it, share it with another parent who might need to hear this, and subscribe to my channel for more practical, down-to-earth support for dyslexia and learning differences.